This segment of Thoroughbreds Argo is brought to you by Inglis, celebrating graduates both on and off the track. Bridget Bester has long been one of the most experienced and respected thoroughbred vets in New South Wales, and her passion for the breed extends into her recreational time in the hunting scene around Scone. So what are the things you need to look for from a veterinary perspective when you're taking on a thoroughbred in a new role? Bridget, we're here in Scone, of course, the horse capital of Australia, and this is a fabulous facility you have here, veterinary practice, dealing with a lot of racehorses, but also a lot of horses that are off the track. Tell us a bit about your day-to-day work and your involvement with the racing industry.
Yeah, thanks, Caroline. Here we are in Hunter Equine Centre at Scone Racetrack. The hospital's been here for about 5 years. The practice is in its 16th year, I guess, yeah. So we're very lucky here. We have lots of lovely discerning studs here that we're able to facilitate, and that takes up quite a lot of our time. And then we service quite a few of the trainers here at the racetrack. So it's a really nice mix, we enjoy it. I've been around long enough now that we sort of see some of them all the way from follicle to finishing post, which is a bit cheesy, but you know, it's nice to follow them through and then see them come back through the barn and keep them going in 3 generations. It's great.
And there's so much work involved with thoroughbreds when they're racing, isn't there? I mean, it's again, with any athlete, there's so much you must keep on top of. And the same thing, of course, also when you're talking nutrition or general, temperament training for thoroughbreds, as you said, right from, all the way through from when they're born to racing and onwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of it does come down to management and prevention. And, we see with a lot of our more discerning clients how much less we have to do because there is a lot of preventative work that can be done, and that's really nice when we see that sort of doing well for the horses, that's the aim and the clients. So yeah, absolutely, a lot of it's sort of health management and the reproductive work, helping with the foals, the yearlings, the sales, and helping the trainers out.
And then, of course, the evolution goes on to off the track. So you have this gorgeous big son of Zoo Star out of a fastnet rock mare. He's a beautiful, lovely horse. You went hunting yesterday with him.
Yeah,
you do some eventing and a bit of dressage and so on. Tell us a bit about him.
Well, yeah, he's a great horse. We had the mare who unfortunately died with some friends and clients at Eden Glassy Stud. He is now just turning 6. And we kept a bit of him after the sales, and he showed a lot of promise, but unfortunately chipped his knees. So they were operated on, and he's a big, heavy horse, and there was always just something niggling him. He never came back. I was fortunate enough to have him arrive at my place, and a year ago, and he's just never looked back. He's just great fun. I'm not a competitive rider by any extent, but my daughter is, and it's been great. I just tag along with her, and we have so much fun. And it was a new concept to me, how versatile and enjoyable the off-the-track thoroughbred could be. When I came to Australia, I think in the UK, we're so much more confined by stables and things. It just, and they're probably not as across the equestrians managing them, because they are a hotter animal. But in the right environment, with the right education, I've always had an off-the-tracker for 16 years now, and we've never had a bad one. We've been lucky they've come through great clients, or friends of ours up at Vantage Hill, the Richardson. They tend to break in a lot of the horses we have something to do with. So that breaking in experience just means when they come back to us as riding horses, they can be, so versatile.
Yeah, with Blair and Nikki, or even with Hanover Lodge and Hinnock and Jade, they come from an equestrian background, and we're seeing a lot more of that. And how do you see that as the benefit? Obviously, that they're taught to trot around in figure eights. They're not necessarily the get on and go type training of the past in their early education.
Yeah, and it's really helpful for their mouths, and listening. And again, that's not something we see necessarily in the UK. Where I'm from is the equestrian's been so heavily involved in that part of it. I think the horses are very lucky to get that education early on. Also, a lot of the studs around here I've seen over the sort of 20 years I've been here, or probably 25 now. You know, they invest a lot of time these days in the weaning handling process. We've got some beautiful horse people around here, like, you know, Matt Laura and people like that, that our clients use, that really give that horse such a good start. So it means at yearling time, when we're x-raying them and scoping them, it's so much easier. And then when they go through to the next stage, you know, they're sort of set up for life. And I don't think we can emphasize the importance of doing that for these horses. It's really, really valuable.
If a horse is not necessarily, you know, a world beater, what are the benefits of saying, look, do we need to push this horse on for another 5 starts? Like, from a veterinary point of view, is it better sometimes to pull up stumps and save them from that wear and tear?
Yeah, I mean, it's all miles on the clock, isn't it? But it's very horse specific. I mean, some horses can have over 100 starts and retire sound, and some horses just are never fully sound for whatever reason. You know, whether it's conformational or, you know, like my guy out there, he's just a bit too heavy, I think. Whereas as an event horse, I mean, he's never had a lame day. And I think the galloping action, there's a lot more sort of weight down their forelimbs and the front of their legs. So, you know, their knees and things, you know, they jar up pretty quickly if they're loading those places heavily in gallop. Whereas, you know, when we're using them differently and they're using their hind ends more in the equestrian sports, it's a whole different range of soundness issues we get. So the horses that might just always be niggly in their sort of knees and front fetlocks, you know, we rarely treat those locations in equestrian horses or eventing horses. And they do a lot of work, often a lot more hours a week of work, but it's just very different. So, you know, the horses that are hard to rehome are the ones that have been pushed to the point of injury, you know, and then the joints become a bit more degenerative and they're harder to keep sound.
There is a responsibility, isn't there, to maybe, you know, get that looked at, or you might need to pay for a surgery and actually give that horse a chance to be productive and have a great life doing something. Whereas if you just say, well, we're not going to do anything with it and we'll just move it on, it's a big question for the industry, isn't it?
I find it frustrating. I mean, you know, we're lucky with most of our clients, they're very responsible, but I mean, we have a responsibility to these horses. If you choose to have a horse, you know, you have a responsibility to a certain extent to do the right thing by that animal, I think. They don't need to be top-level athletes necessarily, and you know, if we can find the right places where these horses can be hacking horses or up on stations and things like that, then sometimes that's fine, because they're not sort of jumping and galloping potentially. They're all very different, they have different characters. I've really enjoyed over the years being able to, through our client base, sort of rehome quite a lot of horses off the track. You know, people get very fond of them, and then we've got a lot of people looking for them, because I mean, they're amazing animals to ride and things when you get them going nicely. I mean, it's incredible that they're for free, I think. It's almost like riding a Ferrari or something, you know? My 10-year-old daughter rides my horse and trotted it up at the weekend in a 3-day event and things, and he's just a gentle giant. And to be honest, I think I'll be lucky to hang on to him. I think she's got her eye on him already. But yeah, it was a great day yesterday. We would have done about 50 Ks, and probably in the field there would have been, I don't know, a dozen horses, and the 3 off the trackers were the standout horses. They were definitely the stars of the field. So.
Fascinating, isn't it? I mean, the hunting side is something, you know, it's not as big as it used to be, but there's another great avenue, and they just excel at that, don't they?
Absolutely, and you know, it's quite nice. You know, it's not competitive, so if you're not like an elite equestrian like myself, it's quite nice just to be in that environment enjoying lovely horses, you know? You know, they just need the right education at some point in their lives. So whether that's, yeah, as a weanling, or when it's been broken in, or as it comes off the track, it just needs somebody to teach them a new language, basically. You know, we talked earlier about, you know, they were talking French before, now they've got to talk German, and it's just a process, but you know, with the right people, it can really pay off for them.